Hello. I recently watched the second FNAF movie in the theater, and would like to share my thoughts, though I apologize for the delay in this review. As a relatively new fan inspired by the first FNAF movie, I was surprised by the massive divide in the sequel's reception. While critics condemned the film with a 13% score, labeling it an incoherent mess, audiences enthusiastically awarded it an 88% for its lore and fan service. I agree that the horror elements were weak, but I strongly disagree that the plot was completely incoherent. In my view, the film wasn't aiming to be a straightforward, R-rated gore fest like The Black Phone or Sinister. It deliberately targeted a broader, fan-centric audience instead. Diving into the film, the opening segment set in the 1980s immediately stands out. It was masterfully executed, establishing the perfect mood and aesthetic that would inform the rest of the movie. The noticeable bump in budget is clear, as the huge, detailed sets and deliberate use of lighting effectively come together to create a pervasive and eerie atmosphere, immediately hinting at the central themes that will be explored. Cutting to the main storyline, we see the various character dynamics and how they were affected by the events of the first film. Mike, played brilliantly by Josh Hutcherson, is trying desperately to move on and pull everyone away from the trauma of the past. His character's development, including a new romantic involvement with Vanessa, is compelling, and he quickly became my favorite performance. However, it's worth noting that Vanessa, played by Elizabeth Lail, actually is given the majority of the screen time. Elizabeth Lail delivered a compelling performance, one I honestly believe surpassed her work in the first film. Her character's struggle with her twisted past is genuinely heartbreaking. She is mostly haunted by cool, visually impactful visions of her father, William Afton. Her dynamic with Mike is particularly sad, as she attempts to help with the unfolding situation while he continually pushes her away, trying desperately to forget the past. Piper Rubio gives a solid performance as Abby, but her talent truly shines when she and Josh Hutcherson share the screen, showcasing genuinely good chemistry. Finally, Matthew Lillard gives a characteristically great performance as William Afton, commanding every scene despite his limited screen time. You can clearly tell he is having a fantastic time. The brief performance by Ski Ulrich was also very strong, and the lead up to his scene was well executed. Despite his limited time on screen, I genuinely liked his performance and hope to see him return in future films. I also thought the voice acting for Toy Chica was very well done. Regarding Toy Bonnie, the voice sounded remarkably different, which was surprising. Although Matt Pat is listed in the cast, if that truly was his voice behind Toy Bonnie, his surprising skill deserves immense credit. He sounded completely unrecognizable. Credit must be given to the Jim Henson Creature Shop for the incredible puppets and the multitude of animatronics designed for this film. The physical animatronic characters are rather amazing and meticulously well made. We see a significant lineup, including the ones from the first film and the introduction of characters like the Withers, bringing the total count to well over a dozen animatronics. The first part of the movie was honestly pretty good, and I'm confused by some critics who called it a slog. For the most part, the pacing felt much faster and more effective than the first film, picking up well in the final act with several great action and horror sequences. My main critique of the structure is that the ending felt far too abrupt, and the characters kept jumping from one location to another. The main antagonist throughout much of the film is effectively the puppet, around which many of the creepy visuals and truly unnerving scenes center. However, the film includes a major reveal at the end that I honestly think could have been cut. The sudden twist that the security guard from the original location is somehow connected to Vanessa as her brother, Michael Afton. It felt unnecessary, rushed, and ultimately insignificant to the film's central plot. Concerning the lore and Easter eggs, the film was absolutely packed with details. A true blink-and-you'll-miss-it experience featuring some really cool cameos and lore reveals. My personal favorites, which include spoilers, were the appearances of characters like Circus Baby, Shadow Bonnie, and JJ. The film also included some excellent background Easter eggs, such as the arcade cabinets featuring references to popular fan games like Five Nights at Candy's and Popgoes. Finally, one of the funniest moments was the Freddy Fazbear plushie, which hilariously reproduced Freddy Fazbear's signature laugh. There is certainly a wealth of lore revealed in this film. So much, in fact, that I'll likely be making several follow-up videos just to break it all down. That commitment to the fans was evident right through the end, as the after-credits scene was great and set up the third film absolutely perfectly. Scott Cawthon's writing skills have truly evolved since his earlier work, and he has come a long way as a storyteller. I sincerely hope that none of the criticism surrounding the film affects him, because I believe he truly did his best to write this sequel specifically for the dedicated FNAF community, the community that he built and that he loves. Overall, I really liked Five Nights at Freddy's 2. While the ending felt uneven and abrupt, and the pacing wasn't entirely smooth, I genuinely enjoyed the ride. I'm not officially affiliated with the movie, but I fully support the creators and highly encourage fans to go watch it on the big screen. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please like, subscribe, and check out my channel for more content.